Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to Brewing with Magic. Well, as you can see, I have Will with me, so that means we are still in spoiler season, and INNISTRAD Midnight Hunt has been amazing so far, and today is going to be no different. Will, say hello to the people.
Hey everybody,
How are you doing today?
doing great.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, before we do get into the spoilers, I just want to remind you, because you are all so amazing and we've blown past 1,000 subscribers already, we're going live September 24th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time to give away all kinds of fun stuff, including a couple of INNISTRAD Midnight Hunt booster boxes. So check the description down below to find out exactly what I'm talking about. Make sure if you haven't already and you want to win some fun stuff, you hit that subscribe button, and I would also hit that notification bell so that you know exactly when we go live, because you have to be there to win the prizes. So, anything you want to say before we get into it, or are we ready?
Yeah, let's just do it.
Okay, first we have Adaline, Resplendent Cathar. It's 2 white, 1 colorless for a legendary creature human knight. Its power we don't know yet, its toughness is 4. It has vigilance. Adaline's power is equal to the number of creatures you control. Whenever you attack for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker they control. So it looks like it's going to at least be a 2/2 because it's equal to the number of creatures you control, not other creatures you control. So we're looking at least a 2/4. And I don't know, what do you think? Is this going to see some standard play?
All right, so I'm really excited about this card. I think it's great. You know, Adaline is really going to fit in those mono white weenies decks, so let's need a tokens build. You know, Luminarch Aspirant, Clarion Spirits, some of those new cards like Sigarda's Champion of Light, Maja, the Protector, like these kind of cards specifically, those go wide strategies. I think they're going to do very well with this card. It fits in, it builds her up on the front end. When she attacks, she creates one, so she actually pumps herself in return. So I don't know, I think it's going to fit pretty well in those kind of decks. 4 being the number on the back end, I'm not too worried about that, just due to the fact that +1/+1 counters, we can put them on any creature, and we have a lot of them in the set. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think that people are definitely going to give this card a try because of the fact that it does have that 4 defense. That is tough. Like, it's hard to get by a 4 defense for a lot of creatures, especially when, you know, they're dealing with all these little white weenie creatures you have. All of a sudden, now they've got this big giant creature that came out for 3. The only problem I see is Redain, Elite Spellbinder, Luminarch Aspirant, a lot of competition at that slot. So I think it'll see some play. I don't know if it will see play very long. I'm excited to see what happens, though. Okay, next we have Gold Sentinel, 1 white, 1 colorless for a human soldier. That is a 3/2. Whenever Gold Sentinel enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. And then it also has Coven, 1 white, 1 colorless, and you don't have to tap it, so you can do this a few times, I guess. Choose a color. Gold Sentinel gains hexproof from that color until end of turn and can't be blocked by creatures of that color until end of turn. And then, of course, Coven always means that you can only do that if you have at least 3 different powers among creatures that you control. So, I mean, a 3/2 for 2, not bad. And it does something when it enters the battlefield. Is that something strong enough? I'm not sure. There's going to be a lot of graveyard stuff going on. What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, I think this kind of fits, again, back in those white weenie decks. Like, we're going to see a lot of different changes once we get flashback. We're going to have a lot more, like, grave things that we're going to have to deal with. And I think this might fit directly into that 2 slot. And don't get me wrong, I know it has a lot of competition with other cards as well, but with the change of this set to the next set, it's a good human. You know, it gets rid of pesky graveyard cards that you might have to deal with. It fits into a white weenie deck. And then the mechanic it has, it's not difficult to have it actually go off. Coven in these kind of decks seems pretty easy. So in retrospect, this card actually might be really strong, especially if you can't block it. And it's just able to hit you and hit you and hit you, or protect itself if you're trying to kill it. So, you know, I definitely think it'll probably see some play.
Okay, well, we'll find out. Next, we have Moonvale Regent, 1 red, 3 colors for a dragon at Mythic. It's a 4/4 flyer. Whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each of that spell's colors. When Moonvale Regent dies, it deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of cards among permanents you control. So, a lot of text on there, a lot of interesting text. It threw me off for a minute, but I don't know. I'm not... Tell me why this is good. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Oh man, I do. I love this card. This is going to be really fun. You know, think about it in Is It Dragons? Just alone. I mean, it's a 2-color color combination, right? So if you're going Prismari and you're casting it, so that's 2 colors right there. So you can ditch 2 cards, draw 2 cards. So get rid of 2 lands, draw some more spells, maybe in that aspect, or get rid of a couple spells to draw into land. So that'll help you. But then the other side also, like you're running like Prismari colors, or if you want to make a Tiamat dragon deck and you're running 5-color dragons, then you have a lot more variables where you can like dump 5 cards or you can deal 5 damage. So I don't know. I think it'll fit more into those style decks. Now, if you try to jam this into mono red, it's going to be on the very bottom or the top end, I mean, of those decks where you're going to have this 4/4 dragon flying great, and you're going to be able to at least filter one land or one spell, I mean, like directly out. So if you know, crossbolt something, then you'll be able to get a card back and replace it with a land. So you're trying to get rid of something. That's pretty much all you're going to really get out of a monocolored deck. So you definitely want to play this in a dual or tricolor deck to get the most advantage out of it.
Okay, well, I still don't see it, but I have definitely been proven wrong in the past. So, and then next we have Curse of Surveillance. 1 blue, 4 colors for an enchantment or a curse. Enchant player. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, any number of target players other than that player each draw a card equal to the number of curses attached to that player. So, interesting. So, does that person still get to draw their regular 1 card? It's just everybody else also does this? Or is it like...
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Curses are something I'm just now getting to see. They're interesting. Is this seeing play? Seems expensive. Seems expensive.
And that's why I was looking at this. Like, it's a fun curse. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a very fun curse. But again, it's more of those like more fun decks that you're really trying to probably maybe a complete control shell that you're trying to use it to take advantage of it. But I see this more as in like a funner, maybe if you're gonna go like brawl, or if you're gonna go historic brawl and you're gonna start playing like curse mechanic decks, that's where I see this card fitting. If you play commander, then if you're going to make a curse commander deck, that's where I see that card playing. In 2022, it seems very expensive for what it does. We do have other curses right now, so if you're going to make like a 2 or 3 color curse deck, that's what you're really trying to do, and this is more like the end game version of it. But I don't know. It's, to me right now, I'm very skeptical until we can kind of figure out more what we can play around with curses.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I haven't been super hot on any of the cards we talked about tonight, but I don't, like, absolutely hate them. This particular card, I don't think is going to see standard play at all, and if I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments what you think. Like, what kind of deck are you all thinking this could fit in? Because I don't see it, but I want to know. Next, we have Grafted Identity. 2 blue, 2 colors for an enchantment aura. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Enchant creature, you control enchanted creature gets +1/+1. All of that text sounds pretty good to me, especially considering you could just sacrifice a 1/1 token that's in all of these Dimir decks or any of these other decks right now and get your opponent's biggest creature and it's just yours now. So I think this is definitely going to see a little bit of standard play, maybe more than a little. What do you think?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Like, I was looking at this card, and I love it for, like, a Dimir control shell, especially if you have a sacrifice mechanic, maybe with Eye Twitch or Shambling Ghast, you know, and you're just trying to get the benefit on both ends of it. It's pretty fun, because not only are you ditching, like you said, a smaller creature, you might be able to now dig in your sideboard, create a treasure, maybe target one of their 1/1s, and then also now take control of their best creature, give it a +1/+1, and now they have to deal with it. So you're like flipping the tables on them, which it's almost one of those fun cards where you're like, okay, I'm going to let you build this up. I'm going to let you do whatever you want to do. And then I'm just going to take that from you and then see if you want to keep playing. So yeah, I definitely think this is going to enter those kind of like control shells, 100%.
So yeah, well, I definitely agree with everything you're saying, and I love the fact that, you know, a lot of things like, what do we have? Auron's Epiphany. Well, the original Time Walk cost 1 blue, 1 colorless. Auron's Epiphany costs 6 or 7 mana. You do get a couple of 1/1s out of the deal, but it's a lot. This is the original Control Magic's price, which if you haven't seen that, I bet you Will puts it up on the screen somewhere right around here. But so it's the exact same price, other than you have to sacrifice a creature, and it's super easy to get a little 1/1 on the board for you to sacrifice. We're already doing it with Deadly Dispute and all these other cards. I like this card. I think this is the best card we've previewed tonight, and it's going to see play in my opinion. Okay, next we have a double-sided card for you, which means we've got a werewolf. It is a blue and green werewolf. The front side is Suspicious Stowaway, 1 blue, 1 colorless, human rogue werewolf. I like it has a lot of really good creature types there. It is a 1/1. Suspicious Stowaway can't be blocked. Whenever Suspicious Stowaway deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. It has Daybound, and the backside, of course, is just a werewolf. It's Seafaring Werewolf. It's a 2/1. Seafaring Werewolf can't be blocked as well as the front side, but a little bit better on the backside. Whenever Seafaring Werewolf deals combat damage to a player, just draw a card. No discarding needed this time. And then, of course, it is Nightbound. So, in the right fast green-blue shells, I could see this maybe being played. It seems like a limited bomb to me. I'm in the middle. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at it from the end game. I'm thinking we're seeing a preview that might be really good when Kawagama comes out and ninjas come back and become relevant again. This seems like a very strong card for ninjutsu. But for now, it might be an early game to help filter your deck. You know, that Nightbound that draws is very helpful. Like, if you get this early, I think it's very helpful. I think it'll help you, like, definitely filter, get what you need. If you're trying to, like, you know, get into something else and try to, like, really get your deck moving, I think it's a fun thing. The other one too is just, even if you're playing against another deck and they're the ones going like Nightbound, then all they're doing is helping you. So now you're hitting them for 2, you're drawing a card only. So it kind of fits that benefit. Now, late game, it could help you get back into it, maybe, like if you get to the draw side. But right now, I'd have to, like, kind of build a specific shell around it. So Simic, I'm not seeing it as much yet.
Yeah, there's just something about it. I mean, I get that stronger cards have weaker power and defenses and all of that, but in this case, if it was a 2-1 going into a 3-1, that would have been stronger. A Toski being a 1-1 for 4, indestructible, can't be... Yeah, I get it. But Suspicious Stowaway, a 2-drop, is a 1-1 for what it's doing. I'm sorry. I just don't think we're going to see you get caught on that boat and anybody care. Next, we're going to go ahead into Briarbridge Tracker. 1 green, 2 colorless for a human scout. It is a 2-3 with vigilance. Whenever Briarbridge Tracker enters the battlefield, investigate. As long as you control a token, Briarbridge Tracker gets +2/+0. So, in effect, I guess it's 3 mana for a 4-3, unless you go ahead and destroy that investigate token right away. This doesn't seem super strong to me, but it doesn't seem weak either. I wasn't around for investigate. I've heard that it was a very good mechanic, so maybe this is going to get support down the line. Is this strong enough now?
Yeah, honestly, like, being able to draw a card is pretty relevant in a lot of Magic. Like, you know, it's more about being in control of your own destiny, you know? And in this case, you're dropping a 4-3. So right off the bat, you have a 4-3 that they have to deal with. You can swing with it. Maybe you can even, like, do a fight spell and take out something. So it has that strength on the front end, which is really good. And then Vigilance is always a helpful, ability to have. So if I'm swinging for 4 and I have a 4 blocker now, I mean, that's big. It's a really awesome deterrent. There's other ways to get tokens. Like, if this isn't a Selesnya build, you already have creatures that are tokens. They're other tokens. So if you're have a go wide strategy and you have a Selesnya build, I think this fits into that. Or if you're going into maybe kind of like a treasure / build of some sort, you're putting stuff onto the battlefield. Or if you're going Golgari, same thing. Like, some of your creatures create treasures. There's other things that keep this tracker going, which I love. So I think it actually is a strong card. We just have to see what shells we put it in, but I actually think it's actually really relevant.
So, yeah, I just love the fact that you can be attacking with this as a 2-3 with vigilance, and then have maybe a combat trick, but not a combat trick like you would normally think. Something where you actually can create a token at instant speed. Now you've got the whatever the token is for any reason, and you've got a 4-3 again, and you can kill your opponent. Kind of a neat little interaction. I like it. So, yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to Willow Geist. 1 green for a tree folk spirit. It is a 1-1 with trample. It's going to be doing something else then. Whenever 1 or more cards leaves your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Willow Geist. When Willow Geist dies, you gain life equal to its power. So I see 100% this is a build around card, and I 100% know people are going to be trying it out. Yeah. Until we see the whole set drop, until we start seeing some play testing going, I don't know if it's good enough, but in a build around deck, I see some value here.
Yeah, so the one thing I like about this is when 1 or more cards leaves your graveyard. So I really like that idea due to the fact that we have a lot of different cards that are coming out, even in green right now, that are kind of cool, where they're putting stuff in or taking stuff out. One of the favorite one is the Ooze. If it dies, you get lands. They come back into your hand.
We have Flashback.
So, Flashback, which is another one. So there's going to be a lot of really cool interactions right now. Yeah, you can fit this into Rakdos decks. You can fit this into, like, Selesnya decks. You can fit this into mono green at some point, because there's a lot of interactions right now where they're, like, bringing stuff back. So I really like this card. I think it's going to have a lot of different qualities, but I like the back end too. When it dies, you gain life equal to its power. So technically, it could save you. So I don't know. We're gonna see some benefits from it. It's a 1-drop for a 1/1, so it's already stopping out early. But having trample is just always a bonus. So I just want to see if we can actually abuse this card. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, if it gets the right pieces to back it up, I mean, a strong 1-drop is always good, especially a 1-drop that gets bigger and bigger. The current one we have, you have to tap it at the end of a turn. Well, you tap it whenever you want, but that's the way we play it, to make it +1/+1 every turn. I think this is much better. Plus, I love the art, and there's just something about the guy in this picture I really respect.
Yeah.
His beard, that's what it is. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and move on to Slaughter Specialist, which is 1 black, 1 colorless for a vampire warrior. I love it, vampires. It is a 3/3. Whenever Slaughter Specialist enters the battlefield, each opponent creates a 1/1 white human creature token. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Slaughter Specialist. So let's not talk about at the moment, you can in a second, command or anything. So this is creating a 1/1 for your opponent. You get a 3/3. They can't really probably kill your 3/3 with their 1/1. If that 1/1 dies, you basically pay 2 mana for a 4/4. Let's say on turn 4 you throw this. You have a Shambling Ghast on the board, and after you cast this, you go ahead and you Deadly Dispute. You get yourself a treasure, draw some cards, and you kill the 1/1 you just made. I mean, you just filled up your hand, you killed their creature, which you did give them, you have a 4/4. This is seeing play, right?
Oh, 100%. This is a very strong 2-drop. A 2 for a 3/3, just minus everything else. Just a 2 for a 3/3, you're already saying, I'm going to play this card, because you're getting so much benefit. Mono black, right now, already has so many outlets. Rakdos has so many outlets. So being able to put this in the 2 slot is just amazing. Because not only can you take advantage, just like you said, the examples you gave are perfect. And that's what we're looking at right now. This card is definitely going to see an auto-include in all of these decks.
I definitely think you're right there. I think this is another super strong card for this set, and I'm excited about it. Next, we have Mask of Gristlebrand, which is an old character from the Magic lore. If you're newer to the game, Gristlebrand is a very strong card. 2 black, 1 colorless for a legendary artifact, Equipment. Equipped creature has flying and lifelink. I believe Gristlebrand did as well. Whenever your equipped creature dies, you may pay X life, where X is its power. If you do, draw X cards, equip for 3. So it seems both super powerful and super slow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think this is a limited bomb, but...
Yeah, I definitely see this stronger in limited. You're definitely going to get way more out of this card in limited. I think if you're going to build a deck and have Mask of Gristlebrand in it, you have to be gaining life to kind of like use it. You have to be able to control the board. But I mean, if you're already doing all of those things, I feel like with Planeswalkers right now and like the creature we just spoke about, like you just get so much more benefit. But think of it this way. Say on turn 2, you drop Slaughter Specialist. Turn 3, you drop Mask of Gristlebrand. They don't kill it. Turn 4, you're able to equip. So now you have a 3/3 that's flying with lifelink in the air. Maybe you've killed one of their creatures, so it's a 4/4. So you're getting some benefit. And then you swing and you hit them. You gain 4 life.
Mhm.
They have to deal with your creature now, so they kill it. In response, you sacrifice it, draw 4 cards. So, and lose 4 life. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's a lot of what ifs to get there. It doesn't seem like you get a lot immediately or going to do a lot immediately. So I'm not really seeing this as like, if you're going to build around this, I feel like it's going to be more fun decks and it's going to be competitive.
Yeah, I 100% agree. People are either going to be coming at you way too fast. You can't take a turn off just to throw this, or they're going to have a bunch of removal and they're just going to kill whatever you try to put this on. That's kind of what the meta is at the moment. So, sorry, Mask of Gristlebrand. Sorry. Next, we have another dual-sided card for you today, but not a werewolf. In fact, I love the flavor. The front side is a human wizard. The back side is a zombie. So the front side, we have Ludovic Necrogenius. 1 black, 1 blue, legendary creature, and as I said, human wizard. It is a 2/3. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, mill a card. You can also pay 2 black, 2 blue, and X. Exile X creature cards from your graveyard. Transform Ludovic Necrogenius. X can't be 0, activate only as a sorcery. Okay, and then we have the back, which is Olag, Ludovic's Hubris. It is a zombie, as I mentioned, a 4/4. As this permanent transforms into Olag, it becomes a copy of one of the exiled cards, except its name is still Olag, Ludovic's Hubris. It is still a 4/4, and it is a blue and black legendary zombie in addition to the other color and types. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each card exiled this way. I read it all. I'm not 100% sure I know exactly what it's doing. Talk to me about this card.
So basically, what they're trying to do is you have a card that comes out for 2/3, and when it enters or attacks, you're always milling a card. So you're milling yourself out, right? You're trying to get more stuff into the graveyard, and then eventually you're gonna pay. The minimum is 5. That's the minimum. So you have to pay 5.
Yeah.
And then it'll turn into a 4/4, but it'll get a +1/1 counter for that one extra card. So it's a 5/5. You know what I mean?
Or a 6/6 or 7/7.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha. There's a
so this seems more like if you're gonna build around a graveyard recursion deck or like creatures dying deck or things along those lines, you might want to run like 2, maybe even 3 of this guy in there, depending on how you're building that deck. And the only reason I say that is because he's strong late game. Because late game you can exile 5, 6, 7 creatures, and you might have the mana to do it. Who knows? So if you're alive and you're controlling the board and doing these things, I don't know if it's going to be as strong as we hope it to be in 2022. I feel like this is more of a commander card that they were giving us. So, commander players or brawl players have something to kind of like build around. I have 100 cards. I have 15 mana. What am I going to do with it? I've got Ludwig. So I think that fits more into that. In 60 card, it feels very slow, or it seems like an end game only kind of bomb. But if, say, somebody exiles your whole graveyard, and you have Ludwig, then you have a 2/3. That's what you have. Or if you flip it eventually, you have a 4/4, and that's all you're going to have. So it's not as strong as I would hope it would be.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see what people do with the exile, because it says it becomes a copy of one of the exiled cards, which needs to be a creature, according to the front side.
Yeah.
It's still a 4/4. It's still blue-black legendary zombie. So what are people going to be able to do to take advantage and get something in there to give Ludwig's Hubris a crazy ability, like, and cheat it out? I'm just curious to see, because someone's going to abuse it. So, okay, let's move right along. We have Dire Strain Rampage. 1 green, 1 red, 1 colorless for a sorcery. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. If a land was destroyed this way, its controller may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Otherwise, its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle, and it flashes back for 1 green, 1 red, and 3 colors. So basically, this is destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. They get a land in response. Unless you blew up one of their land, then they get 2 lands. So doesn't seem like a bad card. It's sorcery speed, but what do you expect for what it's doing? And it can flash back. And Gruul is super strong, and this has a lot of tools in their toolbox. So do you think this is seeing some play? I do.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to target them. You can target yourself. Huh? It doesn't say that you target them. So you could pay 3 and destroy your own land, and then get 2 basics. Maybe you're need 2 more lands. I don't know. But at the end of the day, like, the cool part is like an artifact or an enchantment, or maybe it's a creature land that you have to take care of that's just getting too much in your way. And I like that it's giving you a lot of different options. Now, giving them 1 land or giving them 2 lands, I don't like giving my opponent anything. So it's sparingly, but it does give you an answer in Gruul that we're missing right now. That gives you an alternative to do 3 for 1. So if you're able to target one of these 3 things and pay only 3 mana for it, it honestly might be worth it to give them 1 land, or give them 2, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to win that turn, you're going to give them 2 lands, and that's all it is. And so I think it is going to be a strong card in Gruul, especially right now looking at all the werewolves that we see on curve, and you're just trying to win more real fast and just get them out of there. I think this will probably fit into those decks.
And remember, Brew Crew, this is a direct answer to all you Standard 22 fans out there at the moment to Book of Exalted Deeds when we get Innistrad, because it will be legal again.
It will be legal.
100%. And so will Faceless Haven.
Yep.
So there will need to be, most likely, ways to destroy said lands, because they're going to try to throw it on there, and this is going to do it. So
it's probably going to see like 3 of or 4 of if those decks start to see.
Oh, people are going to play Book of Exalted Deeds. We already know this. So
100%.
Okay, second to last card for the day, and I love the name, Old Stick Fingers. 1 green, 1 black, and X legendary creature horror. When you cast this spell, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards. Put all creature cards revealed this way into your graveyard, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Old Stick Finger's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. So, I mean, this card seems like an absolute just gas card if you're trying to fill your graveyard up with creatures to manipulate and bring out later. Not only are you accomplishing that goal, but you're making Old Stick Fingers bigger. I think we're going to see some decks built around this, don't you?
Oh, 100%. Like, and the cool part about it is, like, even if he comes out late game, he's still going to be big. So they have to deal with the graveyard. There are a lot of Golgari decks right now that are already doing this. They're already doing this. So this kind of fits into those decks already as an auto include. And the cool part about it is, like, they're already kind of like pulling stuff back, moving stuff around, like, you know, they're making all of these plays already. So imagine this guy coming out, and we'll just say it's late game, you know, maybe they made it to turn like 10, turn 8, something along those lines. I mean, this guy's going to be huge. So I'm kind of excited to see. And then, you know, for, you know, Brawl, or even for Commander, if you're a Commander player, this card is definitely going to be really awesome for those Grave Incursion decks. So I'm excited for this card. When I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, how can I break it? And there's just so many cool options to kind of like take advantage of this card. So I really want to see what, not just myself, but what other people come up with to really take advantage of this for 2022.
I can't wait either. I definitely know we're going to be seeing it on the ladder. And lastly for today, we have Wake to Slaughter. I love the art on this card. 1 red, 1 black, 3 colors, 4 sorcery. Choose up to 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. An opponent chooses one of them. Return that card to your hand. Return the other card to the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Flashback for 1 red, 1 black, and 4 colors. So basically, you're going to choose 2 target creature cards from your graveyard. You get to put 1 back in your hand, 1 on the battlefield attacking, then it gets exiled, and then you can flash it back. I see a lot of value there. I definitely think there's going to be some people playing around with this card, don't you?
Oh, 100%. Like, I see this not just in Rakdos. Like, I know it's a Rakdos build, and I love that it is. But man, seeing this in like 3 color, you know, add Splash Green into it.
Splash green and play Old Stick Fingers, and
right?
you've got a combo going.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I'm seeing right now. You know, I mean, the other cool part too is, imagine like you're putting this into a high tempo deck, like we're talking about with werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're running 3 colors and you have green involved, and you're using this to finish the game. And you're only picking 2 of your biggest creatures that are already dealing damage. And what if you're already Nightbound? And now it's even doing even more damage. So you're giving something like Trample or something along those lines. So I don't know. I think this card is going to see play. I think it has a lot of fun, you know, usages for it, because the cool part about it is you're doing it on turn 5. Say you do it on turn 5 and you're trying to do something right then and there. You literally can flash it back next turn.
Yep.
That's how fast it is.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I love it. Oh man, it's definitely going to see some play. Well, that's going to do it for today. I don't know about you, Brew Crew, but I'm super excited. This set looks amazing. I can't wait to see what it does to Standard when everything comes out. It's going to be a blast. Will, before we go for the day, is there anything that you would like to say to the amazing people?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks again, everybody, for watching our content, for, you know, thumbs upping us, for leaving comments, and for suggesting us to other people. We really appreciate that. And we're excited to see you when we do our live giveaway, and we're super stoked.
Yes, so thank you once again, everybody. Don't forget to check the description down below for our giveaway, which is September 24th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You are still eligible as long as you hit that subscribe button now and are there when we go live. You can win some fun prizes. And as always, until next time, have a blast in the arena.